welcome to Reach Ivy's webinar series, Know Your Top Colleges. Reach Ivy is a premium education and careers advisory. Our study abroad consultants and career guidance coaches help aspiring students get accepted into Ivy League and other top-ranked schools globally and reach their career aspirations through personal mentoring, online services, and a wealth of knowledge accumulated over years of experience. We have successful admits at MIT, Columbia, Harvard, University of Pennsylvania, LSE, Oxford, INSEAD, LBS, Dartmouth, NUS, Rothman, amongst others. Our global team of overseas education consultants have acquired their degrees from premier institutes such as Harvard, Columbia, Stanford, and others. We are passionate about sharing our experiences with students worldwide. We know the intricacies of the rigorous admissions procedure and the extreme attention to detail required by a top-ranked university, and thus handhold our students through the preparation and complex process of studying abroad. Additionally, our website has extensive resources, including sample resumes, manuals, templates, and specific answers to your questions. These have been put together by our expert counselors, including me. So a little bit about myself. I'm Grishma Nanavati. I'm the lead counselor at Reach Ivy. I've completed my MBA from the Tepper School of Business at Carnegie Mellon University and a Bachelor of Science from the University of Warwick in the UK. And my GCSEs and A-levels are from Hong Kong. I've worked with companies like American Express Financial Advisors, Pertinent Partners, the Dow Chemical Company, across Hong Kong, New York, Michigan, in a wide range of roles. Having experienced careers and education in these different environments have really helped me build a global perspective and assist students not only understand their options, but find their fit. Our webinar today is part of our Know Your Top Colleges series. We've launched this special speaker series to help students get a deeper insight into top colleges globally and decipher the application process. Our speaker today comes from a school that imbibes learning by doing. I'm very excited to introduce Sudh Tirumalapala, who was a TUC 2010 graduate and is the Regional Director of India and Southeast Asia and Associate Director of Admissions for the TUC School of Business at Dartmouth. He serves on the Admissions Committee at TUC, runs the TUC Club of India, and is the TUC Ambassador for the region. His background is in venture capital pre-MBA and has been focused on VC, PE in the emerging markets since graduating from TUC, as I said, in 2010. Sudh is an avid blogger, and his posts advising MBA applicants have been picked up by a number of MBA forums globally. He was awarded the prestigious Julia Stell Award at TUC for his leadership and contribution to the school. Wow, that's really a great background and profile, and it's great to have you speaking with us today. We're really excited to learn more about the MBA program at TUC and deciphering the application process and understanding the admission criteria. Thank you, Sudh, for joining us today.
My pleasure, Grishma. Thanks for having me.
Sure. So without further ado, I'll just get started with my first question.
Let's get started.
Great. So can you share with us a little bit about TUC School of Business and the MBA program?
Well, the TUC School of Business at Dartmouth is the oldest graduate school of business in the world, founded back in 1900. It was founded back in the day by as a collaboration between Edward Tuck and Mr. Tucker. So Tuck and Tucker both basically came together to start a school of learning, business training. And remember, at the time, the US was itself an emerging market, and for them, they were motivated to start a school of business that would train business leaders to to develop not only the company but the community that they are part of, and hence the country. And so it was founded on on that note. That was radical thinking at the time, and very innovative for that time or that era. And so that's the foundation for the Tuck School. And Tuck continues to be a trailblazer in terms of innovative programming 116 years later after its founding. And it's really known as it was known then, and so it is known now for its very close-knit community, a collaborative culture, and a supremely loyal alumni network. Tuck and Dartmouth are based in Hanover, New Hampshire, on the banks of the Connecticut River. So a very idyllic setting, and obviously is a member of the Ivy League.
Great. Thank you for that intro. And I'll definitely, after reading your profile, I definitely agree. Very, very strong alumni who are committed to the school. So that's great. But being able to pick the right program is crucial given the number of options available today in the market. At Reach Ivy, we meet a lot of students who face this decision. Who should ideally be applying for this program?
Well, when we think of, or rather, when people are looking at, applying to a school like Tuck, when I just mentioned, it's a very close-knit community and collaborative culture. So people who are coming to Tuck, or who are keen on coming to Tuck, rather, should be, motivated to contribute to the community. And when I say contribute, I don't mean, monetary contribution. I mean contribution in terms of, thoughts, in terms of ideas, in terms of, not be afraid to, showcase who they are. It's a class of about 280 people. So one of the smaller schools in the Ivy League, and by that very fact, you really work very closely with a big percentage of your class. You get to know pretty much everyone in the class, on a first name basis. Become very close friends with people. So it's certainly not for someone who is content to be anonymous in the 2 years of the MBA program. Right. So, we want people to come who want to be known for something, who want to stand for something, who want to be, out there pushing the envelope for themselves and, motivating, the rest of the classmates to, come join in whatever it is that they're planning. So it's in a way, the Tuck School is a very self-selective program. We have a very diverse class that is sourced from, countries all over the world. So someone, who is a Tuck should be able to embrace, many different cultures, be able to seamlessly interact with people from, all over the world, and, be a part of this very dynamic community where they're making their own mark and leaving a legacy on, by the time they graduate. So we're looking for motivated people who are wanting to make a difference for themselves and make a difference for others while they're at Tuck and beyond.
Great. And like you said, small class size, definitely, that's an important factor as well. And, you really get to know your cohort very, very well. And this kind of segues into my next question. You've touched upon some of these points in what you said right now, but could you maybe share a little bit more about, like, is there a specific background or profile or traits? Like you said, definitely motivators, go-getters, but anything else that you're looking for in your incoming class?
Background really can be, anything, right? There are Tuck students who come from, the traditional, consulting or finance background. Mm-hmm. There are also people who come from, technology or retail background. There are people who come from, the armed forces background, from nonprofit, education. So, background could be pretty much anything. What we are looking for is, evidence of leadership. And when I say leadership, I'm not looking at how many people have you managed or how many people reported to you in a team. You could very well be a team member or not a team leader, so to speak, in your organization. But what we are looking for is traits of leadership, and the way I define leadership is, influencing people without necessarily having control. And so what have you been able to do to either motivate people or do something without necessarily being their boss, right? Or without necessarily being, in control of the proceedings in toto. Things like that. So we are certainly looking for, evidence for leadership, uh, you know, and we are looking for people who are really, rather, and not necessarily looking, but basically the Tuckies are, humble, down to earth, high achievers, fun to hang out with, and really going out of the way to help each other, get ahead. That, in a nutshell, is what we are looking for when we are looking to admit someone.
Wow, that's really a thorough overview of what you're looking for. Thank you so much. It's good to know exactly. And since you've obviously been through the program, you have very good understanding of, based on your classmates and things that you've seen. So thank you. Now that we know the student side, can you tell us maybe something about some of the most interesting classes or professors at Tuck?
So at Tuck, every professor that is, every member of the faculty teaches in the program. So, it's not a situation where, someone is only doing research and not necessarily teaching a course. So every faculty member teaches, and so you get, and it's a very, very intimate setup, in the sense you get to really know your professors one-on-one in a very open and communicative environment. So you are not only interacting with your professors in class, you are probably having dinner at their home, or you are cooking and you're inviting the professors to come to your home. And this happens all the time. So the level of interaction that you have with professors is not just confined to a classroom setting. So, pretty much, and every teacher takes their, their teaching extremely seriously. And so it's hard for me to say, what is that one great professor. Everybody is so accessible. Obviously there are some, very big names that teach at Tuck. There is Vijay Govindarajan, or VG as we know him. Sidney Finkelstein. There is, Anant Sundaram, who was recently awarded the Best Teacher Award. So actually, there's a, no matter, how well cited the each of these faculty members are, they all really covet, this teaching, the excellence in teaching award that the students give them. So that kind of tells you, everybody is really involved in teaching, and is really passionate about, putting forth ideas in classes and having debates, and getting this very impactful learning happen. In terms of courses, I think leadership is embedded in the curriculum through and through. When you start at Tuck, you are put in a study group, which is culturally diverse, and it is also professionally diverse. And so it is set up in a way that, no one person will have answers to all the questions that are being posed, but together you are able to figure out, the answers for the case study or the problem that is being given in the classroom or whatever. And one of the courses that is my favorite is personal leadership, uh, which is a course where you get 300. It's right in the fall quarter of the first year, where you get to have feedback, 360 degree feedback from your own classmates about what they think about you as what are your leadership qualities. And a result of all those interactions is a personal leadership development plan that you create. And that's something that you track throughout the duration of your MBA. And kind of evaluate yourself on how where you were and where you want to go and how do you get there, right? So it's a very very 360-degree feedback driven type of a uh, course where you're evaluating your own leadership style. And then of course there is the course implementing strategy that Vijay Govindarajan teaches. Sydney Finkelstein leads the Center for Leadership, and he teaches courses on you know how do companies and leaders succeed and or fail, and he brings the protagonists of the cases to the class. There's a course on business and climate change, what businesses should be doing. It's actually one of the, it's, I think, uh, at the time, it's the only course of its kind in terms of businesses, uh, are impacting and should be remedying the whole climate change process. And this is taught by Professor Anand Sundaram. There's another type of course called the Research to Practice Seminar, where it's a very small class, so about 10 to 15 people per class, and you are interacting with the professor literally throughout the entire quarter in this small, very intimate setting, discussing what is top of the mind research that the professor is conducting, and discussing and contributing and learning about what is going on in the specific topic, and really doing a deep dive on whatever the topic is. So that is that. So there's any, I guess I can go on and on, but
Yeah,
suffice it to say that there is enough variety in terms of there could be the courses could be only case based, there could be lecture based, there could be a combination, there could be like I said, research to practice, where you're actually working with the professor to understand and deep dive their research topic. There's an independent study where you actually create your own course if you're so motivated, and you will be to meet your own, and you set milestones along with in collaboration with the professors, and you actually explore the topic to as much detail as you want, and all of this is for credit. So I guess that's a very long answer for your short question.
But that's great. Thank you. It's good to know there's something for everyone, which actually leads perfectly into my next question for you. Because as you know, a lot of people choose an MBA because they're looking to switch careers, or there are a lot of people who have entrepreneurial interests. So what faculty, facilities, resources do you think are available for them?
Career switching is I guess more common than not. And everyone wants to do something different. That's the whole point of, I mean, maybe that's not the whole point, but that's one of the primary motivations of coming to a 2-year MBA program. Tuck being a very residential program, it's everything is it's a microcosm in itself in terms of how accessible, like I was saying earlier, the faculty are, the various resources on campus are, everything is literally, like few steps away from you. And so is the Career Development Office, which is, very, very personalized in its approach. Students, they get to know, literally every student one-on-one. and they are always looking to figure out what is it that this student wants to accomplish in terms of their career plan, and how do we get there. And the career development office has recruiting relationships with 900 odd companies, and the student body is a third of that number. So the ratio of the number of companies to the students is fairly high in that sense. So there's always so the program, the way it is set up, the CDO is works is they're really motivated to help people get where they want to go, and more importantly, for in terms of people who want to do career switching, for companies that come and recruit on campus, all the big names come to campus. One question that I keep getting asked is, Tuck being in a fairly removed from large cities, and we are about 2 hours north of Boston. How easy or difficult is it to, from a recruiting point of view? And I think what I just mentioned in terms of the CDO's approach should allay any concerns that applicants have as far as opportunities for recruiting is concerned. And not only that, companies that come on campus, they can only shortlist 50% of the seats that they are looking to interview. So, for example, if McKinsey is coming to campus and they want to interview 30 candidates, they can only shortlist 15 people, and the other 15 self-select into the interview process. So so you don't necessarily have to be shortlisted by the company in order to interview with the company. You're able to exercise your prerogative of if you are so motivated to get in front of the company, you will be able to get in front of the company, whether they shortlist you or you shortlist them, so to speak. Right.
Great.
And at that point, the company is ambivalent. They don't really care whether they shortlisted you or you shortlisted them. They are able to, it's entirely based on the performance in the interview that things go forward. So, and in fact, the companies actually feel very good about the fact that somebody is so interested in coming and meeting with them, even if they were not shortlisted. So it actually works, in favor of the candidate in so many cases. So those are pretty much some of the ways in which career switching happens. And again, for people who are very, very specific in their search, like I said earlier, the career development office, and not to mention the very tight-knit, comes to help students get where they want to go.
Great. And actually that, obviously you gave us a good idea of how the Career Development Office helps all students. But what about international students who, visa issues or maybe are looking to come back to India? What type of support is available for them?
See, I think, visa issue is a systemic issue, right? It's not a school-specific issue.
No.
And,
right.
So students who have, so let's talk for example, international students, or let's even talk about the all the students. In fact, so this past year, right, 100% of the students got internships, no questions asked, and 99% of the students were employed within 3 months of graduation, and I guess for statistics, for whatever it's worth, Tuck students are in the top 3 schools globally in terms of overall compensation when they graduate. So recruiting for either international students is not an issue in that sense, given the numbers that I just mentioned. and again, you are a Tucky for life, and alumni are able to come back to use the CDO's resources, as and when they want to change jobs, or they're interested in doing something different. They always come back to leveraging whatever resources the CDO can provide them. So it's not simply something that students, you're able to come back and keep exploring opportunities pretty much for life.
Absolutely. Like you rightly said, you're a Tucky for life, and that support system, those friends, those alumni, those networks are there with you throughout your professional and even, I'm sure that some of them are your best friends and stuff like that in all walks of all life. Then we also have the flip side of you have the careers at the end of your MBA, but at the beginning, is there any financial aid available to international students applying for the program? Could you maybe talk to us a little bit about what options TUC has available in terms of financial aid?
So there is no separate scholarship application for TUC. By virtue of applying to the program, you're automatically considered for a scholarship.
Okay, great.
And so as far as in terms of how much funding is there, I think that depends on the strength of the pool that we are evaluating at any given time. But suffice it to say that there are international students who get whatever level of scholarship. Some like in my case, I didn't get any scholarship, but that did not deter me from going to TUC after getting to know about the program. So I think scholarship is available for international students or domestic students. It doesn't matter. Like I said, anybody who applies will be considered for scholarship, rather than anybody who's admitted. And I would like to advise the broader applicant community at this point, since we're on the topic, is don't if you get scholarship, that's great. That's a shot in the arm in terms of for your MBA plans, irrespective of which school you're looking at. But school is. And once you're set with that, the dream destination, don't let scholarship get in the way of matriculating at that school, right? Ultimately, my favorite example is, I guess I go back to corporate finance for a second. If there's a company out there that's doing pretty well in its current product, right? They're able to manufacture a product, dip into some working capital, and create a product, sell it, get some profits, replenish the working capital, and the cycle goes on. They realize that there's a new product Y out there that if they're able to manufacture it, they will suddenly be worth, what they are worth so far as of now. And so what do? They basically dip into this short-term source of funds that they've been doing their business with, and this plant, which takes, let's say, about a couple of years to build. Well, what happens is, they're now using short-term funds to support to build out their long-term asset, and it's a corporate finance 101. Long-term funds should never be used for long-term asset generation because you will end up in serious cash crunch situation. Well, I kind of digress with my example, but in this case, in the case of the business school applicant, right? I would think of as a company they're figuring out, there's this MBA and a post MBA career. That's this awesome new development that they would like to be part of. And if they predicate their entire MBA decision or where to pursue the MBA based solely on the availability of short-term fund, which is the scholarship. The scholarship is only going to take you through the next 2 years, but you also have to think about what is it that you're aspiring to, where are you aspiring to do it to graduate from. I think that is something that they should really pay a lot of attention to. And so once you figure out the dream school, don't focus on short-term funding as a uh, as a decision-making criteria for which school you need to attend. I think that's the choice. That's how applicants should think about as far as scholarship is concerned.
And
sorry, that's a long answer, but
but it's a very important and rightly said. It's important to find the right fit of the school, and obviously financial aid is one of the things you look at. But obviously, I totally agree. You should also look at other factors in making your decision. So thank you for that. I'd love
I also
to
should
know.
mention. I should also mention that TUC does not require a US cosigner for so we don't have a scholarship application, like I said. So everybody who is admitted will be considered for scholarship. At the same time, the school also does not require a US cosigner. The students don't have to mortgage any asset or anything to be able to get financing. You will get financing by virtue of getting admitted to TUC. So that's it. So it's you just have to sign a piece of paper and the financing is set up. So that's something that I should mention since we are on the topic.
Great. Thank you for letting us know that. I'd love to know, you've talked a lot about the professors and, things like that and the student cohort. So what's a typical day like for a student who's in the MBA program? Is there a typical day?
There are 280 typical days because there's 280 students in a class. Each student has his or her motivations and things that they want to accomplish. There is just so much going on in a given day that it's physically impossible to be involved in all of them, although you would love to be. And like I said, the whole point of the TUC program and the experience is that you're part of this very motivated group of people who really want to get a lot of to the community, to be able to be known for something. So students are generally involved in so many different activities, outdoor, indoor, academic, professional, and everything in between. Typically there's if classes are the core courses could be in the morning. Courses are offered in the first year, and the second year is completely elective. And so typically in the mornings, Monday through Thursday, and electives could be in the second year and any time of day depending on the professors and the students' schedules, I guess. And all work is done in teams, especially in the first year, in the first 2 quarters, the fall and the winter quarter. Everything is done in a study group, and the study groups are formed such that they are culturally and professionally diverse. And so there are so you have to work, create norms for how you deal with whatever projects or whatever case studies or
Hello. Sorry, I think we've had a technical glitch here. I'm sure Suds will be right back with us in a few seconds. Hello?
Hello, I'm not sure what happened there.
Oh,
I think
sorry.
there was the, I guess, the inevitable technology glitch of some sort.
Right. Sorry, please go ahead. Please answer. Continue. Sorry. I don't know what happened there for a second.
All right, so I kind of lost my train of thought. But yeah, so we are talking about what's a typical day like. So
Right.
there are always visiting executives and visiting leaders that are on campus, and so are companies that are coming to meet with students and set up networking sessions or whatever. There's office hours with these visiting leaders. There are lunches, dinners, and in the morning there's breakfast set up with 6 people to one, so 6 students meeting with one of these. Office hours will be typically one-on-one. So students who are really interested in connecting with any of these people will be able to connect with them. In the evenings, there are typically fireside chats. So there's literally a fireplace, and a visiting leader is chatting with set of students by the fireplace, and there's a lot of outdoor stuff that happens irrespective of the season. There's ice hockey, there is trekking, there is hiking, skiing, all kinds of stuff. And the Tuck Outdoor Club, so many different clubs that are run by students are all doing any number of activities in a given day. And so it's a very packed schedule. And at some point, the study group will have to come together and actually come and solve the problems or challenges that they're looking to present in the class the next day or whatever. So there's a lot of diversity in terms of, or a variety, I should say, in terms of the number of things that students would like to do, what they're able to do, and what they're able to accomplish in a given day.
Great. Thank you so much for that insight. And my last question to you, I know you actually talked a little about it when it came to the financial aid, but I'd like to ask, if you had one piece of advice to give students interested in applying to the program, what would it be?
One piece of advice, don't second guess the admissions committee in terms of what you think, you as the applicant, what you think they want to hear or they would like to hear. So make sure whatever it is, you're projecting yourself and not you are being yourself in the application and in the interview, and not a different personality that you're not, right? So so be very honest and sincere in terms of coming up with the application, the essays. Let it be a projection of your own personality, and more, and also that is one thing I would say. The other is don't chase a deadline, in the sense, just because the deadline is coming up doesn't mean that a less than uh, perfect application, or a half-baked application should be just submitted just to meet the deadline. And don't make that mistake. uh, there's Tuck especially has this early action round, which is in October, and then followed by the November round, then the January round, and then the April round. So many people think that, if I have to get in, my best bet is early action. And so, they just assume that, whatever they submit early action, they have a higher chance of getting, something. And that's absolutely not the case. What we want students or applicants to really do is, create that really rock solid application. And if you're, and don't worry too much about the round in which you're applying. Make sure it's complete in every respect. Make sure you are proud of the application, irrespective of which round you're submitting it in. And just because you submit early doesn't mean that a half-baked application is going to come through, right? So don't chase the deadline.
Well, that's very, very true and very well said. You apply when you're ready, which is the most important thing. Thank you. That's really very good advice, and to be true to yourself, which is also very, very important. And like you said, the admission team can, I guess, it comes through in your application. So it's important to be, true to make sure your true personality comes through. So that's great advice. Thank you so much, Sir. And thank you for all the insights that you've given us today, from the program to the professors, the students, being a true Tucky. It was really, really a very, very insightful call. And it was great to discover so much about the school, the program, and especially about, the type of students that you're looking for. So thank you. It was a real pleasure hosting you today.
Thank you for having me. And, if, my contact details are out there on the web. So anybody has any questions should feel free to contact me, or, if people have any questions that they reach you about, feel free to loop me in so I can answer to the extent I can.
Absolutely. We'll definitely do that. And thank you so much. And I hope all the students out there found this as informative as I did. And do subscribe to our Reach Ivy channel to get more information on your top colleges. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to email us at help@reachivy.com or log on to www.reachivy.com and submit a query. Thank you so much, Sat, and thanks to all the students out there for listening. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.